Hello, single person watching. My name is Scrape, and as you can tell by the different setup I have today, this is going to be a different kind of video. Today, I'm going to be trying my hand at repaints with a Littlest Pet Shop, as you can see by this beautifully overpriced blind box I got. It was $3. Not the best, not the worst. I was considering getting the $10 one, but then I realized I gave all of my money to one of my friends because they wanted food. So, this is what we got. If you guys end up liking this, I might end up picking up the $10 one and repainting those in that video. But I'm going to try to make a Halloween repaint with this Animal Crossing. And I've liked repaints for a while. I watched Delightful, Dull Motion, Hextian, and a bunch of others which I will throw up on screen because ya boy has editing. Remember when I didn't have editing? Oh man, those were the times. Cue the flashback to those times. But like, fluttery, okay, yeah, you understand. What were you saying?
Nothing.
Okay, so now you shut up.
What is?
Great, okay.
6 times 6 is 36.
I'm going to throw the microphone at you.
Happy birthday!
Don't get that close to the mic.
What birthday? Only fools rush in.
Oh my god. Look at oh he's Andrew. Look at that. Anyway, a boy, which I'm going to be opening on camera. I have no idea what this is, no idea what I can get. Apparently I can get 150 to collect Littlest Pet Shop Lucky Pets. Includes one mini scale pet, coin, and collection guide. Oh, so it's not even a full, it's a mini. Is that why it was so cheap? It's not even going to be one of like the good ones? Well, whatever. This is what we have. And I don't know how to do this, because I've never opened one of these before. I love Littlest Pet Shops. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. My auntie, my aunt used to get them for me all the time on my birthdays and stuff, but okay, so by the looks of it, there is I think this is the collection guide. So let's take a look at this, see if I can predict what we're going to get. Littlest Pet Shop Lucky Pets, 150 plus to collect. What kind of luck does your pet bring? Flip the coin to find out. And then the charm icons. Success, friendship, creativity, adventure, happiness, and dreams. Dreams is a crystal. I'm not even in center. Why is creativity a feather? Why is success a paw? You know, I'm not gonna... Okay, this is what we can get. So we can get... So the ultra lucky tier, which is divine and hazy. Okay, I really like hazy, I'm not gonna lie. Super lucky, which is razzle. Fortuna, which I think it's a platypus. Lotta and wispy. And then on the bottom we have Starzy, Juno, Chills, Tarot, Pocus, Merlin, Morgan, Twixie, Fluky, Presto, and Zizzy. So I have no idea what we're gonna get. Part of me kind of hopes it's one of the platypuses, because I could make something interesting with that, but Tarot also possibly, or Hazy, just because I like Hazy. If it's Hazy, I might just end up keeping Hazy and repainting one of the old ones I have, but that would defeat the purpose of this. So, let's look what we have. because I am an unboxing channel now. Oh, there was a way to do it up here, I think. I don't know, man. Can I, what is, oh, like that. Oh, who did we get? No, they weren't really lying when they said they were mini. Oh my god, that's tiny. I think we got the crab. Yep. We got the crab. So I'm making a Halloween crab. That's okay. I can do that. Wait, over 150 to collect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm pretty sure this isn't 150. But, did they just mean, like, in total for Littlest Pet Shops? Or... I have no idea what... Okay, so, let's flip our coin. What luck does it bring us? Oh! Whoop! Frickin'... Okay, the other side is the leaf. So, our crab child brings us success. So, hopefully this will be a good thing. Cue the spooky music.
And so I got to work. After readjusting my workstation 10,000 times, I decided to sketch out, first off, my first idea. That would make sense, which was a pumpkin crab. I got the base ideas down, as you can see in the corner. The eyes that stare into your soul, the tiny smile, pumpkin. And I liked that, but I decided I would sketch out a few other ideas too, like the skeleton I'm doing right now, which decides to be out of focus. And I'm just coloring in some details, adding some cracks. And then I am trying to think of another one. Those are the only two I had at that moment, so I just kind of draw it again, and I'm like, oh wait, I could do a candy corn. So I did a candy corn. And then the last one I tried to do a different expression just to diversify it. Didn't like that. There the coin goes. So I just drew the same blank expression again and tried to make a candy bowl. And ultimately I just went with the pumpkin. So I didn't have acetone. So I had to use my cheap Michael's craft store paint to cover up all of the details. Which, if you want to, you can guess in the comments how many coats it took. I'm going to leave the counter in the corner because I'm a dork and it sounds like fun. So how many coats of orange do you think it will take to cover it up? We are on coat 1 currently, and as you can see, my paint is thin, which is odd because it also leaves a lot of streaks. Which if you're partial to the world of customizing, you'll know you're supposed to water down your paint to stop streaks from happening. But usually I don't because my paint's already watered down. Apparently, because it's thin. Really thin. It's cheap paint. I'm pretty sure they water it down in the bottle so they can sell more. But, conspiracy theories in the art community. And we're on coat 2. So I had no preconceived notions whatsoever of what I wanted to do with this other than pumpkin. I didn't know what I was going to make the legs, I had an idea of what I wanted the hair tuft to be, which is the stem of the pumpkin, but the legs were an enigma to me. They were undecided. Schrodinger's legs. Did I want them to be part of the pumpkin? Did I want them to be more pumpkin? Did I want them to be earth or grass or whatever? So I just covered everything in orange. rather than doing different base coats. It's just all orange. There is nothing but orange in this project. And we're on coat 4, and you can still see the details coming through the paint. And I left some paint on the ground. And at this point I'm getting impatient, so I'm basically just slopping on the paint in sections because I just want to cover everything up. I'm tired of waiting. I don't have a hairdryer. I have a light on above me so the scene is better lit because it was getting late. I did this all in one afternoon, or night technically, because I could and I had nothing else to do aside from the other project I was working on, which I might unveil at the end of this video depending on when I get that done and when I want this to be up. So there I am, just slopping on paint. And if you know anything about me, you'll know that I love Halloween, which is why I made this Halloween themed. Even though it's... well, technically it's only a week till Halloween. When I'm recording this, it is literally a week until Halloween, and I am very excited. Is that English? Probably not. That's okay. And at this point, I keep rubbing paint off as I'm working because I'm impatient. So I'm painting one section, rubbing the paint off of another, painting it again, and then rubbing it off. And the legs wouldn't dry, so I'm like, screw it, more paint. All the paint. If we cover it in paint, it'll just become a ball of paint. I don't actually know what the hole at the bottom's for, because there's no stand or anything that it goes on, unless there is. No, there's no stand that it goes on. In the olden days, back in my day, the littlest pet shops had magnets, but now they have holes. And I prefer the magnets, because no little pieces that can break off of your sets, it's just magnets. And here I switched the angle, because I thought I wanted to diversify it. And all of the cool videos that I watch from all the big channels, they always have multiple angles and multiple scenes, and they do cool things with their videos, so I'm like, I want to try that, but this just ends up being a hassle for me, because the camera's in the way, so I can't actually see what I'm doing. And at this point, I forgot I had a mini paintbrush, so I'm using one of my sculpting tools, a rubber tool to paint on the lines, and I kind of like how they look, but I end up going back in and kind of defusing them so they're not as harsh, because I want it to still be like the, I was gonna say Animal Crossing style. It's not Animal Crossing Scrape, it's the Littlest Pet Shops. I want it to be the Littlest Pet Shop style, kind of, still, but with my own kind of spooky Halloween flair. Sparkle, sparkle. So I'm just adding all the lines and then going back in with my finger to kind of smudge them. Then I'm going in with some water to also attempt to smudge them. And then later I go in with a wash of the same orange to attempt to like smudge them out, make them less harsh. Because I want it to look like it was sculpted with like pumpkin ridges, like you know how it has, it's kind of, a pumpkin's kind of ridged and it has those sections. I wanted it to kind of look like it was sculpted with that in mind, and not just haphazardly painted on, which I've never been good at realistic shading. So, time for me to learn, am I right? I'm just mixing up some darker paint, which then I'm splotching on the top and the bottom, which it ends up doing absolutely nothing, as far as I can tell, but it just kind of looks like it's muddy at this point. I end up fixing that later. Once I have the eyes, it looks a lot less muddy because there's a different color to break up all the orange. Like, at this point, I was starting to doubt myself because it's like, is this just gonna turn out looking like an orange crap? Like, but it ends up actually looking really good. I have it with me right now, and they are going to be a child of mine. Here I am adding... Oh no! Here I am adding shading to the eyes, and then I'm trying to give a close-up, and then I'm playing with it because I'm a dork. But I added orange shading to the eyes, which is the same color, and I needed the black for the eyes. But at this point, I adjusted my camera, so then the camera wouldn't focus on the crab anymore. I tried to go in with one of my ball styluses, again for sculpting, to add the eye all in one shot, but it ends up turning lumpy, so I take some of my water and I remove the black, which removes the shading. So I go back in with the shading. There's a lot of back and forth in this, where it's just messing up, wiping it off, trying again. Because that's really what art is just messing up and trying again until you like it. Here I finally realized that it's out of focus. Rather than thinking to adjust the camera, I just leave it. Later on, I attempt to construct a makeshift background with another paint container I have. But I'll let you see that when it happens. I'm going in with a smaller ball stylus, which you can't even see because my fingers are in the way, and I'm just adding the eyes. At this point, I thought I was going to add, and there's the background. I swear, that's paint water, not orange juice. Don't drink your paint water, kids. And I'm going in with some highlights, just dry brushing that in the raised, or the quote-unquote raised sections of the segments. And then I go in, I think right now I go in with the small ball stylus again. Or no, I'm just adding more highlights. But I go in with the small ball stylus around the edges of the eyes and the mouth to highlight it and make it look like they're more sunken in rather than just painted on the surface. Again, trying to make it look as realistic as possible for a pumpkin crab, which is not a real thing. Luckily, the background seemed to solve the whole focusing issue, which I was happy with. And there I am, adding the highlights. Oh, I'm not using a ball stylus, I'm using another rubber tool. And I added some shading to the mouth, which was muddy, so I wiped it off, and then put it back on, and again, a lot of back and forth. And here I'm just adding the green for the stem. I end up going in with the same green for the legs as well, but I end up changing that to a darker green because at this point I had decided I want them to be vines. Like the pumpkin had raised itself up out of the earth and was using the vines that it grew from to walk. I don't know how. I'm pretty sure pumpkins are only attached to the ground by... No, because they have leaves on the bottom, don't they? I don't know how realistic this is. Because pumpkin crabs aren't realistic, so deal with it. God, I don't have a script, once again. Because scripts are for pussies. No, they're not. Scripts are good. I really should have written one, but that's okay. Going in with more of the green, and now I'm just darkening it up and at this point I had run out of brown paint, which is what I was using to darken colors rather than using black or gray, because it kept it more of a warm earthy tone rather than dulling it out like black or gray would. And I mean, I wanted it to be dull, but I want it to be warm dull, whereas the gray I have is a cool dull. So brown instead. Ran out. I need more brown paint. I'm just adding shading to all the little crevices between the legs where they join up with the body, and then I go in and add some on the bottom around the little hole, which I don't know what it's for, but just trying to add artificial shading. I also add one to the stem. It looks more like a leaf than a stem, but it's okay. I had to work with, well, that was a voice crack. I had to work with the sculpting I had because I don't have any air dry clay at the moment. And even then, I kind of like the restrictions that only using the base sculpt adds to a project. It makes you think a little more creatively. Creatively. It makes you think a little more creatively rather than simply taking a thing and then just building something new on top of it, which is also creative. Don't get me wrong, like I've done that before too. But I like the limitations that simply using the base sculpt brings to a project. And I thought I had turned off the camera at this point, but I guess I didn't because I'm working on the other project in the background. But at this point I had painted the bow black. I was considering adding gold to it, like, because at first I considered adding gold, quote-unquote pupils to the eyes, but ended up not going with it because I liked the base black. And then I was going to do the same, not add pupils, but add gold detailing to the bow, but I ended up liking the base black. And it's done!
Well, that certainly was a ride. And yes, this is the secret project I was working on. A scrape doll. For in the future, hopefully, when I make more of these, and this doll's actually finished, I'll be able to use it to represent myself in a form other than, you know, a 2D drawing. Now, on to the big news. For the entire week of Halloween, I will try to be posting a video every single day. That can range from more repaint videos, if you like this video, to speed paints and other things. So if you're in the mood for some Halloween content, consider hitting that subscribe button. Yada yada, whole YouTuber spiel. As always, my name is Scrape, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye!